welcome to another episode of Now About That with James and Sarah. I'm James.
And I'm Sarah.
And on today's episode, we, again, like the last few episodes that we've done, don't really have a plan. So we're just going to chat and talk and see where things go. But as we were getting on to the podcast and talking, I was telling Sarah there's something going on with the docking station that I use to connect my computer to all of my peripherals, like the keyboard and the mouse and all of that jazz, because whenever I'm connected using the USB cable or the USB drive thing, the little dongle, it doesn't connect, and it has been working until today. So for some reason today, it's not working. So right now, I can't use my mouse or my keyboard with my computer. Well, with this computer, I have a trackpad, so it doesn't really matter because I have an additional optional a better peripheral anyway.
Right.
So anyways, how's Sarah doing? How are things going? Are you feeling better?
No.
Sarah's been going through it for some reason, and no one can explain or understand why, except for Sarah. And even Sarah doesn't really understand or can't explain.
Sarah doesn't really understand. I'm not doing well. I honestly, it's been harder than normal to convince myself that I should continue living. Because what is the point? So that's been fun, quote unquote. I'm being very sarcastic. It has not been fun. It's been pretty awful. But I did have a semi-lovely time at Burnt Soup.
That's good.
Which is the camping event that we went to for Nick's birthday. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. But there were just parts that weren't as fun. My tent leaked because it rained. And even though it had a rain guard on it, it rained so hard that it penetrated the guard.
That happens quite often.
So I was wet and not in a way that I wanted to be. So that was frustrating. But I did have a really good time, and it was nice to get away from home for a little bit and get away from technology a bit, because I didn't really have a lot of cell phone service out there. So it was nice to just detox a little. And I met some really cool people and got to do some funny things, and yeah.
Well, that's good. At least you got some time to decompress and kind of have fun out in the nature of it all. I, again, would never do that because for the reasons that you mentioned, the whole tent leaking and all that jazz. I also don't like sleeping on the ground.
I wasn't sleeping on the ground.
Or an air mattress.
I have a cot.
Oh. Weird. That's weird as well. But anyway, I don't like sleeping at places like that, and especially when I'm that close to nature.
That is fair. I did get assaulted by multiple insects.
Assaulted by insects.
I was assaulted by insects. Okay, you don't understand.
You were in their world.
I know, and they were beating me for it.
Well, that's fun. I mean, it sucks that you're feeling the depression of it all, but at least you had some fun last weekend, and you got to spend Nick's birthday with them. So that's good. Or celebrate their birthday, I guess, because I don't know if it was their birthday last weekend or not. But
no, it was his birthday on the 30th.
Yeah. Well, that's good. I have been really busy this week because even though it was a short week, it seems like every time there's a short week, it's always the longest of the days. Because we had a bunch of stuff going on this week, and my boss Karen is getting ready to go for vacation, and then she's back for 2 days after vacation, and then she has surgery that she's going to be out for a little while, because she has to have something with her shoulder. Like she has a tear in her muscles.
Ooh.
And her ligaments in her shoulder, so they have to repair that, and she's going to be not able to drive for like 6 weeks after the surgery.
Physical therapy.
And go to physical therapy, which she's already been going to physical therapy because the insurance company required her to take physical therapy before they would sign off on an MRI to see what was wrong, and then to sign off on surgery, which it's like, if you go to physical therapy and there's something wrong that's damaged and you're doing physical therapy, that's just going to make it worse.
It can. It really depends on what it is.
Especially if it's a tear to like a ligament.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the times you can't really fix that or anything like that. It's usually joints.
Yeah.
That is what's treating or rebuilding, obviously repairs, or muscle, whenever it comes to physical therapy. When it's a ligament that's torn, you can't really repair that with physical therapy. It's usually like immobilization or surgery.
Yeah, so usually what happens in that instance is the physical therapist does an evaluation where they assess to the best of their ability, and then they'll tell the insurance that it's not something that can be fixed with physical therapy.
Yeah, which that's the thing that sucks with our insurance. It's like they don't care. They still push the physical therapy for a certain amount of time before they'll sign off on even an MRI, even if like the physical therapist is like, no, there's no fixing this with physical therapy.
Damn.
It's very frustrating. Actually, speaking of surgery, or speaking of insurance, I was watching, I'm apparently on some part of doctor TikTok, because I keep getting these doctors where they're talking to insurance companies advocating for their patients. And this one from yesterday, it was this doctor talking to an insurance company about the EpiPen that they were trying to prescribe to their patient because they need it for an allergy.
Yeah.
And the insurance said that they don't cover EpiPen under the insurance plan that they had.
Yep.
And it's like, how can you not cover a life-saving medicine that's required for someone to live if they have an allergic reaction that could cause them to go into anaphylactic shock? That's insane to me. And the fact that that's legal in the United States is corrupt and crazy.
Oh, absolutely. 110% agree. I don't know if you remember, like, I experienced it directly because I have asthma and I've been a lifelong asthmatic. But as a small child, a lot of insurance companies wouldn't let my parents insure me because my asthma was considered a pre-existing condition.
That's insane. And that's
So,
like one of the things that was a good thing that came out of the Affordable Care Act, that you can't really say you aren't able to be covered because of a pre-existing condition.
Yeah. So,
like, I mean, it doesn't mean
a time when that was normal.
Yeah, and that doesn't mean that they can't like charge you an arm and a leg for insurance because you have a pre-existing. Yeah. But again, that's something that should be. I understand some, like, not a lot, but some like qualms with regulation, and some regulations are a little bit of an overreach. But when it comes to like health, I don't think there's too much overreach. Like, to me, there's not enough. And like when I'm thinking of overreach, I'm thinking of some of the EPA things that are like being pushed, which my main one is like the backup sound for an EV, or like the fake engine sound that they're regulated to have because it's safe for pedestrians, because an EV is quieter than a gas-powered engine. And I'm like, most newer gas-powered engines and better kept gas-powered engines are very quiet. You can't hear them either. So the fact that you're regulating and requiring my EV to have a backup sound when there's no backup sounds for regular gas powered cars and you can't hear when they're backing up either is insane and ridiculous.
Yeah.
And then Ryan's new car, which Ryan got a new car, everybody. That's exciting. It has that auto stop start feature where if it stops at a stoplight or something, it turns the engine off. And there's a way to bypass it where you push a button, but you have to push a button every time you start the car to turn it off. Otherwise, it turns on automatically. I don't understand why it's there. There's been studies that shows that it doesn't save as much gas and it actually puts more strain on your battery and your starter than anything else.
Yeah.
So it doesn't make sense that it's something that's still being pushed. And for me, that is one regulation where I could see that is a little bit of an overreach, where it's like it's not necessary and it doesn't really cut that many exhaust fumes or carbon fiber footprint. Like, to me, the benefits outweigh the problem or the solution. Mm-hmm. They don't outweigh the solution. Like, there's not enough benefits to it to me.
Yeah.
But that's just me.
I get that. I can see that. I think overreach is everything that is currently happening in today's government.
Yeah. How's your school going?
School is going. It's not bad. I missed an assignment by accident. And also because depression. And so this school is a lot stricter. You can't submit anything after the deadline. Like, so that whatever assignment is due that week, if it is not completed in that week, even if it's submitted late, they have to give us a 0.
That's weird.
So I missed an assignment and I mentioned to my teacher, I was just like, do you want to, I was like, let me just get it turned in. It's just gonna be late. And she's just like, oh no, because the week has ended. They won't let me take it. So that brought mind you, this was a discussion as well, just for the record, that I missed, and it dropped my grade from a 94% to a 72.
Gross.
So, yeah, that wasn't great. I have a paper due that I'm going to be working on after I'm done with the podcast. I have to write my own mythology where I get to be the quote-unquote hero. I don't feel very heroic, but I guess I'm going to figure it out. Oh, and I've already experienced my first accusal of me using AI.
Mm-hmm.
Because I have an extensive vocabulary. And
that's frustrating.
People think that because I'm using words like stewardship.
That's not a very hard, weird word either.
Right? And I was specifically talking about in mythology how human beings were created for land stewardship. Like, that's literally what we were created for if you go off of the Christian mythology. Like, it says that, okay? So, like, I used stewardship, and my teacher was just like, I think this is AI generated. I just wanted to remind you that it has to be your own work. And I was like, I know you have no reason to believe me,
No.
but I am morally opposed
It's
to
like, here,
AI.
let me send you a link to an episode of our podcast where I talk about how much I despise the use of AI in any context. And you can understand that this is not AI generated.
Exactly. And she's just like, okay, well, I believe you. It's just unusual. And I'm like, I'm in my mind, I'm going, I'm 37. Stewardship is not that weird of a word.
But you are 37 from Indiana originally,
I was also homeschooled, so there's that.
which also homeschooling.
But anyway,
So
but
I
I was just
could
like,
I could kind of understand where, but then again, it's like, why, if you have a conversation with a student and that student displays that they understand that type of vocabulary, then it makes more sense to be like, oh, okay, I should assume an elevated level of speech or an elevated level of grammar in this person's, especially if they're going for their major is something to do with
English.
English.
Right.
That's weird. And
Then it's an English class.
it could also be because you're currently living in Texas too, where it's not the highest on the level of.
But I'm just like, I was like, all of my work is unfortunately generated from my own brain.
Yeah. I will say there are times when when you Google something, it automatically uses AI to give you information, and it's like, I don't want this. I always
scroll past it. Yeah. I never read it.
I mean, I do sometimes because I'm like, oh, okay, that's a good way to kind of see what is out there. But then you always look at the link that it's pulling the information from to get the context of where it's coming from.
Have you noticed, like, I don't know if I'm just like hypersensitive about it, but have you noticed that Googling anything, you have to really scroll to find like good, viable information nowadays?
Yeah, it's gone crazy now because most of it is like at the top, it's sponsored content and content that's been purchased to be pushed.
Like, it's not even just the sponsored content. It's like, it gives me like the least informative information first.
Yeah. I mean,
and it had nothing to do with what I was doing. And like, they've gotten rid of the, because I used to be able to search with quotes and that would bring up exactly what I wanted. I can't even do that anymore. Like, it's almost impossible.
I want to say there is an option that you can choose. I don't remember which one it is, but it's like there's an option, and I don't see the options to choose them now, where you can choose, and it's like it will only search for scholarly articles.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see it anymore, but there used to be an option like at the top where it was like you could choose what type of thing you search for, or if you type for something that sounds like it's going to require a scholarly article source, it'll recommend, and it'd be like, would you like to see more peer-reviewed scholarly articles? But I mean, that's my biggest complaint with the library for my school. It's like, even if I type in, and we talked about it in a couple of episodes, even if I type in the exact title of something and put it in quotations, I've even tried brackets, I've tried everything, it doesn't come up.
Yeah.
And it's like, I have to scroll so much and look for it, and it's like there's so much other stuff on there that have some of the words included, and it's like, that's not what I wanted. I want this exact title.
Yeah.
I've started going through, and all of the content that I have pulled for my doctorate, my dissertation, I think we've talked about it in here. I printed it and it's in a binder now.
Mm-hmm.
But I've also in my library saved it so that I don't have to search for it again and try and find it, because there's an option where you can like bookmark it and save it so you can go back to it every time instead of having to do a search and try to find it again. Speaking of my dissertation, I don't know if we've talked about it since I met with my instructor. I think it was last week. So we may have talked about it already.
Maybe.
Or maybe I think it was after we had done the podcast that we talked about. I talked to her. So I think it was on Friday that her and I had a meeting, or maybe it was Thursday. I don't remember. Either way, so I met with her and she was telling me all the stuff that the like all of the information that the RPC had put in my research project coordinator had made notes on my research project, and she had put like specific verbiage that she wanted to have me change, or she wanted me to change. And my instructor was like, that's very rare because she doesn't usually do that, but it's good that she's doing this for you, because it makes it like this is exactly what she wants to see and what she thinks everybody that the review board will want to see whenever we turn your final project in. But then she had made this note where she's asking me to take take one of my questions out and remove like one of my hypotheses, but it's like the one that's like the main driving factor of the dissertation that I want to do. And right. The second one was just like it's a nice to have. And my instructor was like, you can do whatever you want. If you want to leave it in, I'll just talk to her and explain why you have two questions, and we'll work through it, and she should be fine with that as long as we have a good explanation. But the one thing you have to remember is this dissertation is just to get you to graduate. You don't have to change the world with it. So if you just change it to where instead of having to do a mixed model research project, you're doing a qualitative instead of a quantitative and qualitative research, then whatever, and it makes it easier for you, then that makes sense as long as the content is still quality.
Right.
And it's like, you have to remember this is just to get you to graduate so you can be a doctor. So we're not changing the world with this research project. It's really just so you can get to graduation. So I think, and I've been thinking about it all week, so I might just take what I have and combine it and make it to where the questions that I'm going to be asking on the questionnaire, I can't say survey, it has to say it's questionnaire whenever you're doing a research project, include all the questions that I already want to include, but then also include a question about how they feel that if they feel that they're able to identify errors more effectively with the introduction of videos and visual aids in the training process.
Okay.
And that kind of it brings in the part of it that I was planning on doing the quantitative research portion of, but it also kind of removes the requirement that I do that quantitative where I apply it to a certain number of people and then look at that group's error rate before versus after. So it reduces the amount of work that I have to do. But it still incorporates that portion of my dissertation idea. So I think that's what I'm going to do and what I planned on doing. And I need to just work on that and then bulk up my research portion for the literature review. And then I have to submit that before Tuesday. They review it. And then once they've reviewed it, they can give me some more feedback. And then the following Tuesday is like the last. If I need to make any changes, I'll submit it then. And then I have like 2 weeks to just kind of chill and get everything ready for the next portion of it is talking about developing the methodology that I'm going to be using for the research, the applied research portion of it. So like the survey, what method am I going to be using and how am I going to be measuring it using that method? So that's interesting to me. It's interesting to me. And I'm glad that I have a little bit more understanding of what she wants to see. And there was another blurb that my instructor was like, you need to make sure you put this in there too when it comes to like the safety aspect of the people that are going to be included in the survey questionnaire. And it's about like preserving the information and safeguarding it from like being accessed from by other people other than the person that's
Right.
leading the review or the research. And I was like, my plan is to do a forms survey, which is Microsoft Forms. It's basically like a way to digitalize doing a actual survey for people or questionnaire for people. And what that does is automatically saves onto my personal OneDrive at Boston at my work. And she was like, that's fine that if you do it that way, but you have to also include in your paper that you're downloading the information onto an encrypted flash drive or a flash drive that's password protected that you only have access to, because that's required. Whether you do it or not, don't tell me, and it doesn't matter, but you need to put it in your paper that that's what you're doing, because that's part of the requirement. Because just because you have it on your OneDrive doesn't mean that someone else doesn't have access to it, even if it's your personal OneDrive.
That makes sense.
So that's one of the other parts that I have to update in my dissertation, which is going well, which I'm excited about, and I hope it's going to be a little bit easier going forward, because this one has been a nightmare and I've hated almost every minute of it. I do like my instructor that I have now, and she said that she might be my instructor for the 820, which is the methodology portion of it.
Right.
And if she is, that's great, because I really enjoy her. She's been a great help, and she's always been like, if you need anything, just reach out. Whereas my other instructor for the 810 class, it was like difficult to get a hold of him, and he hardly ever responded, so it was very frustrating. So there's that. The other thing that I haven't talked about on here yet is an interview that I had this week for a position. I think I talked about the position, but I hadn't had a formalized interview scheduled for it yet since we met. And I just had my interview yesterday, and it went really well. He basically was like, unless I find someone that has like a red S on their chest, there's really like no one that's going to knock you out of the next phase of the interview process. Which the next phase of the interview process is a panel interview with some other team members and a project that I have to create from a problem that they provide. So the problem is something that has to do with sales, and I have to create an e-learning or some type of training program that and then kind of explain my process and why I did it that way, and then how I would roll it out. So basically create a project plan, creating and rolling out a training program for the problem that they highlight. So I'm excited about that, because that's something that I like to do anyway, and it's part of my current job. And it's also allowing me to stretch my creative skills, but then also my abilities in a different platform and integrate it into a learning system. And one of the things that I'm excited about this job would be that not only two of the things, but the first thing that I'm excited about is it's leading a program to launch and migrate training to a new platform. So I get to like research platforms or find one that is already being used by the company, and then review all of the current training that they have, update things where it needs updated, and then move them and migrate the information over to the learning platform so that we can more easily track the content and how it's being used and who's accessing it and whether the people are pending training or whether the training is done. So that's like the biggest part of the role at the beginning. And then the other part of it that's exciting is I will more than likely, if I get it, move back to California.
That's the part that you're most looking forward to.
That's the part that I'm very excited about, partially because I miss California so much. but also because there's more options for Ryan over in California than there are here. And if we find something, it's in Santa Clarita Valley. So if he finds like a vineyard or something that he can work out there, he can make more money there than he does here at the restaurants that he works at. So what did I say? I'm
tentatively optimistic.
Cautiously optimistic is the words I used. Yeah. So cautiously optimistic about it. And it seems like I did this time pull the nepotism card a little bit because I had my director reach out to the hiring manager and his manager because he knew his manager and just give me like this is going to suck for Quincy, but it's going to be he would be a great member for your team. So yes, I pulled that nepotism card.
Do it in this day and age.
Because I'm tired of being told you would be a great candidate if we didn't already have someone on our team. And this interview also kind of sounds like it's a new role that they don't have like anyone in their team currently that can step up and match what the requirements are. So that's nice too. So again, cautiously optimistic, and we'll see how it goes. I think he said he had a couple more interviews this week or next week, and then after that he would be reaching back out and sending me the list of, or he said a slideshow of the problem and the ask for the project that we're supposed to create and develop. And I was like, one of the questions I always ask in an interview is, what is your timeline for onboarding the person into this role? And he was like, well, with anything, it's yesterday. So it's really not about like what we have planned, because again, there's no one currently in this role. It's more how, like, what is the time frame with your current role, because I know you have a job now, and getting you transitioned into your new role if you're given this position. And I was like, that makes sense. And it's going to be difficult. I will say it's going to be very difficult because really at the facility that I work at, there is no one that can do what I do. Like, I love Karen to pieces, but she can't even do what I can do.
Right. And
like, it sucks. And she's also going to be out on like medical leave, but she's also working remotely as much as she can while after her surgery. So there's like this transition period where even if I move and I get into this role, it probably won't be until like October before I can move to California. Which, from a apartment standpoint, that's totally fine, because my apartment here, the lease is up in October, like at the end of October.
Right.
So I would need to either decide before, hopefully within the next couple of weeks, I will know whether I'm being offered this position or not. And then by the end of this month, I have to let them know whether I'm going to renew my lease or if I'm moving out.
Right.
And Ryan and I were talking, and I was like, honestly, I don't know how much of our furniture I would want to take this time. Because, like, to me, it would probably be easier if we just got rid of a lot of our furniture and just got new when we moved over there. There are some things that I have to take. Like, there's a really old table that was my great-grandmother's table that I got from my dad. And then in the hallway, as you enter, there's this really old mirror that my dad and my mom got on there for a wedding present. So I would have to take those things, but most of the other stuff that I have is very replaceable, and it's not super expensive stuff. I say that it's like, it would be less than $500 to replace almost every item that I have. Not like per item. Nothing I have costs more than $500. I'll say that. I'll say it that way. That makes more sense. Aside from my like laptop and stuff.
Right.
But that's all stuff that I can carry with me. So we shall see. And it's gotten darker where you are.
Yeah,
The sun has
the sun
started
is
to
going
set.
down.
We are
So,
recording about 2 hours later than we typically do, which was totally great because I was also making dinner when you messaged and said, "Hey, do you mind if we record later tonight?" And I was like, "No, I don't. I absolutely don't because Ryan just got home and I'm making dinner and I can make dinner and we can eat." And then we started watching The Fifth Element and now we can record. Now we're recording.
multi-pass.
Lilo Dallas Multipass. Yeah. We haven't gotten to that point yet. We're just 56 minutes in to the 2 hour long movie.
Mm-hmm. No, it's getting darker earlier because we've passed, the
The mid-year.
the middle of the year, so it starts getting a lot darker a lot earlier now, and it stays darker longer. Which I'm sure is not helping my depression at all, but it's fine. I'm fine. Everything's fine. I don't have anything interesting to follow up with. I am existing.
Yeah. I mean, at least you're existing. That's the good part.
Doing my best. But it feels like my best is not very good.
I keep messaging with the artist that I bought the 2 pieces from in Provincetown, and I'm like, "Listen, I need to mute you because if I keep seeing your art, I'm going to keep buying it and spending all of my money." And he was like, "No, just buy it."
Just buy it.
And he sent me a discount code. He was like, "Here, use this. You can save 10% on whatever you purchase." And I was like, "Listen, I'm waiting to hear back. If I'm going to move, I might move to California." And he's like, "Oh, good. If you get the job, you can buy a piece of art to celebrate now." And I was like, "Hey, you know what? If I do get the job, I might buy 2 pieces of art to celebrate because I really like his art. It's really good."
No, that's super valid. I love what you've shown us in our group chat.
And it's so funny because there's so many people that are like, "That one really does look like JFK."
It really does, though.
I can see it, and he laughed about it because I messaged him, and I think I sent it in the group chat. Whenever he shipped the other piece on the box. He wrote, "A friend for JFK."
And I loved that. I thought that was great.
Yeah. So I'm really liking the art that he has, and it's all pretty quality art. The one thing I don't love is that he is using IKEA picture frames, but they look great. And that's really all that matters to me is if they look great.
Exactly.
Well, is there anything else you would like to discuss while we're still here?
I'm like trying to think of things, but everything's real boring right now because like I'm in a depression hole. I'm not doing anything.
No.
Nothing is happening.
How is work going?
It's going.
It's work.
It's work.
Work kind of sucks anyway.
Yeah. I mean, it would be I just I'm tired of doing work specifically to survive.
Yeah.
Instead of like doing something that I enjoy. Like it's just frustrating. Like the job's not bad. It's not a bad job. I'm not ungrateful for it. It's just not what I want to do with my life, and it feels like I'm about to be 37 this month in 20 days. Speaking of, today's my mom's birthday. Happy birthday, Mom.
Happy birthday, Mama D.
But like,
not that she listens to this.
Yeah, I don't let her listen to this. We curse too much for her sensitive sensibilities.
I don't think we curse that much.
Okay, I curse too much for her sensitive sensibilities. Is that better?
That is better, yeah, because I don't think we curse that much. And really, I don't think either of us curse all that much. So I was just looking while you were talking about that. I was looking at our monetization, and you want to know what it says our estimated balance is for like the month that we've had it so far? $2.33.
Oh my God. We made $2.33. I love that for us.
And I don't know how it works. And when it like gets actually like rolled up and sent out, but I think it's monthly. And it goes to a PayPal account. So we'll see.
But no,
Oh, we do have our note cards.
We do.
Note cards. Oh, they're not note cards. What are they called?
Wait, postcards?
Postcards. That's the word I was looking for.
But they still require an envelope, so.
I know. That's weird. Yeah.
Right.
Didn't really understand the envelope portion of it, but does it really require an envelope?
I don't know. It doesn't have like the usual stuff on it, I guess, for a postcard.
But you would write everything else that you write on an envelope on the blank card too.
I mean, yeah.
But anyways, I did take one of those cards and gave it to Miss Coco Peru, and the gift that I gave her, along with a few of the business cards.
Yes, I remember you saying
chucked those into the bag too, and she did reply and say thank you for your kind words and from the gift. And I was like, okay, who from your team wrote this? Because I don't think you actually did, but love you too. Love you, Miss Coco. If you're listening, which I doubt you are, I love you to pieces.
I also love you to pieces.
Well, I today had to go get my car inspected for the Rhode Island safety inspection that is required for vehicles.
Mm-hmm.
And it was $55 for the inspection, which was totally fine. It wasn't insane. And then they were like, in order to pass your inspection, you need to replace your rear windshield wiper. I was like, are you kidding me? My rear windshield wiper? I would understand if it was my front windshield wipers, but it's like, do you know how many cars don't have a rear windshield wiper?
Why do you have to replace it?
I don't get in order to pass safety inspection.
But like, why? Like, what about it is wrong?
Oh, it was damaged. Like there was the rubber on it was ripped. I knew it was, but I just hadn't had a chance to replace it. And every time I go, I think ice fell in the ice maker, and it just was in my left ear, and I was like, ooh.
All of a sudden, he like looks over. I thought there was a ghost or something.
And it might have been. Who knows? I just keep forgetting to ask them to replace it whenever I take it to the dealership to have it serviced or whatever, because most of the time, more than likely, they probably would forget or did not do it anyway because they're imbeciles. So it was like $30 to get a new rear windshield wiper, and on top of the $55, so it ended up being like $30. It was like $89 or something like that. But it's always something when you take it. If you have an inspection, they always have to find something.
Yeah.
It's like you can't just pass. There's no way you can ever just pass.
No.
And with my car, because there's really nothing on it mechanically that would need to be fixed or oil that needs to be changed or anything like that, it's like that's the one thing that they had to find. I was like, you couldn't, like, you have to manually check saying that yes, that's fine in the inspection. It's not going to, like, the car doesn't tell me that I need my windshield wipers replaced.
Right.
You can't plug it in and the car tell you, the system, hey, this person needs their windshield wiper replaced. So you could have said, it's fine, you don't have to get it done. But he was like, in order to pass you, like, so you're a douchebag. You just want to make more money is what you're saying, is what you're telling me. So I was like, whatever, it's fine. I see all these cars that are, whenever they hit a bump, it looks like they're about to lose control because they have no shock absorbers. And I'm like, how do these people pass inspection? And you're telling me I can't pass whenever I have a ripped rear windshield wiper? That's insane.
I have a fun fact for you, friend. Those people are not passing their inspections. They're not going to the inspections at all.
No, I have heard around here there are some inspection places where if you have to pass, you can just slip them a little extra money. And they will pass this. They will make it, like, they will say that you passed.
Dang.
Corruption. Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say that, and it's like the tint on some of these people's windows. It's insane because there's like a Mercedes SUV here that has all of their windows tinted, even their front windshield. And I'm like, well, that's definitely not legal.
Right.
Or would you be able to pass an inspection? And the person is African American or black. And I'm like, why would you do that? Why would you get your windows tinted? You're already at higher risk of being murdered by a police officer. Why would you add to the potential for you to get pulled over and murdered by a police officer?
Yeah, I mean, not that they should be murdering people in general, but no, I get that. I try to fly under the radar because I don't want to get hurt.
Yeah. I did for a minute the other day think I was going to get pulled over because I was speeding. But then it turned out it wasn't even a cop.
Some of these cops around here are like they're you can't even see that they're a police officer until like they're right up on you, and they're doing that on purpose.
Yeah. There's like a lot of the unmarked police cars that are like for that reason. And I keep seeing this one TikTok account where it's a guy that has like two cameras posted where it looks at the window tint, and then the other one looks at their license plate, and he's sending it into the police. And I'm like, first of all, one, why are tent companies allowed to sell you this tenting and do that if it's that illegal? And two, Why are you being a narc, jackass?
Right. Like,
it's like, it's not really hurting you.
Business.
Like, I would understand if it was something that was like causing danger, but tent isn't dangerous.
Like, just admit that you're a bootlicker. Goddamn.
It's insane.
It is insane. I agree.
Well, do you have anything fun planned for the weekend?
Not really.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do schoolwork. I'm gonna try to go and hang out with my friend Andy tomorrow. That's about it.
Yeah. Are you in the negative with your spoons again?
Yeah.
Is your spoon collection depleted? Did someone steal your silver spoon?
To be honest,
sounds like I'm mocking, but
no, I know.
Bit, but
this is the relationship that we have. So,
I mean, it's like social battery. My social battery has been depleted this week because I've had to deal with too many people, and I probably don't need to deal with anybody else because I might scream at someone.
I mean, yeah, it's kind of like that. I'm low on spoons the majority of the time because I'm chronically ill. But they've just been extra like depleted, and I'm doing everything I can to try to like build them back up, but it feels like as soon as I get it built back up, something else happens and then they're gone.
My coworker and friend Alita said to say hello to you because I told her we were getting ready to record the podcast.
Hello, Elitza. How's it going?
She's amazing. I love Elitza. And Karen. I love Karen too. They're like the main reasons I like to go into the facility because I get to talk to them and we chat a lot. Other than that, it's like I really hate going into the facility because I sit in front of this old grumpy man that always whines about something, and he's very so he does this thing where I'm pretty sure he's joking, but he says like snide comments to me, and I'm like, I don't think you understand. I get that it's a joke, or I'm hoping it's a joke, and if it's not, then it's very unprofessional from a manager.
Right. I mean, it sounds pretty unprofessional from a manager anyway.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of understand his. That's why I'm assuming that's his personality, because I understand his personality a little bit, and I'm hoping that that's his personality. Otherwise, it's extremely unprofessional from a person in a manager position, to be acting and saying some of the things he does say. And I did the other day put a little picture that I printed off from this little sprocket thing that I got. That's like an HP printer that prints out photos.
Yeah.
I printed a little, like a goofy baby face and put it in his cubicle and said Baby Scott.
That's so funny. I thought I'd turn on the light.
You were getting very dark. I'm in the dark too, but I also have a monitor over here and my computer is right in front of me, so it's giving me a lot of light.
I only have the one screen and it's small.
Well, this is Ryan's niece's last week here in Massachusetts, so in this area. And then she's going back to Indiana for a little bit, and then I think she's going to our Arizona, I believe, for a little bit. And so this weekend we're going to meet with her or take her to lunch, dinner, whatever, for on Sunday for her last week here. Before she leaves, and we don't get to see her until Thanksgiving.
No.
And we have decided to take Ryan's car back instead of mine this year for Thanksgiving.
That makes sense.
And it does have Apple CarPlay. I didn't think it did. And I was upset because I thought I had checked that to see if it had Apple CarPlay. And but I forget that not all cars are wireless Apple CarPlay. And I didn't, like when I plugged it in, I plugged my phone in because I didn't have a cord with me whenever I was there. It then turned on the Apple CarPlay and I was like, ooh, exciting.
Yep, I have, not that I have Apple, I have Samsung, but, no, I don't have Samsung, I have Google.
You have Android CarPlay.
Yeah, I have Android CarPlay.
Well, Android, I don't know what it's called.
I don't either, but it does the thing.
Yeah.
But it doesn't do the thing all the time, even with the wire, because I'm like on my third charging cable that I've had to use to try to get it to continue working. And like the charging cable works just fine in every other context.
Yeah.
It's just specifically in the car.
That's strange. I think Ryan's phone has an issue because it won't let him do that. And I think it's because he needs to get a new phone because it's shattered.
I mean, yeah, that would
but sense. Also I think the US, like when you plug it in, it only recognizes it as a charging cable and not a data cable. And I think it's because of the plug that he has. There's something wrong with his, like the charging plug.
Yeah, I think there's something wrong with my charging plug, because it'll do
both your phone and physically.
I mean, yes, obviously. I think there's something wrong with everything.
Have you tried cleaning it out?
No, but I guess I could.
Yeah, you might. I mean, it might just be lint or something like built up inside the charging port, because that happens a lot. But I think whenever I get my new phone, I'm just gonna give Ryan my phone. So I will have, and it's in a couple of weeks they come out with a new iPhone, and I'm going to get it.
Woo! Good for you.
Alrighty, well, would you like to call it a podcast?
Yeah, I think I would like to call it a podcast.
All right. Well, thank you all for listening to this week's episode of Now About That with James and Sarah. If you like this episode, please give us a like and comment. And don't forget to follow or subscribe. If you would, leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen, as this will help get the podcast out to more people and help us grow. Feel free to follow us on social media. Our handle everywhere is at Now About That Pod. So if we don't come up in the search, then we're not on that platform. If there's something you would like us to discuss in the podcast, feel free to email us at nowaboutthatpod@gmail.com. You can also send us a voicemail or send us a text message. Our phone number is 765-557-4170. And feel free to visit our website, www.nowaboutthatproductions.com. Thank you for listening again, and we hope you have a great week since it'll be coming out on a Monday. And Sarah, enjoy your weekend. Do something fun.
I will attempt to. You do something fun too.
I'm going to be working on my school stuff.
I mean,
So
same.
it could be fun.
It could be.
It could be fun.
It could be.
You could do something about like some mythical creature that murders men and bad people. I don't really know. I don't know what happens with mythical creatures.
That's fair. That's valid.
Alrighty. Well, bye everybody.
Bye.